Hi, this is Dave Shackelford, and I'm the IANS lead for the threat management track, which will be coming to a forum near you very soon. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to be a part of that track. We've got a couple really engaging topics that are very current trends right now in the security community. And the first one is just taking a look at penetration testing tools and techniques. So it's been awesome to see this full circle kind of come all the way around in terms of the offensive mindset. A lot of people have been a bit gun-shy around penetration testing for years, but I think we're really coming to that realization in order to find out where our weaknesses are and be able to defend better, we need to understand the offensive mindset and what attackers are actually doing. So we're going to talk about some new tools and techniques and just things going on the offensive side of security. We're also going to have a session that delves into one of the most nasty styles of attack today, which is social engineering. And social engineering, as many people know, is really the attacker taking advantage of human traits and human behaviors to potentially get them to do things that the attacker would like, whether that's clicking links or whether that's opening doors or giving away information over the phone. And what we've come to see is that the only true way to combat that is by security awareness. And so we're going to couple those two topics in our Avoiding the Attack session, where we're going to talk about the different types of social engineering and what those really mean and what they look like, and then really delve into ways that attendees can use security awareness to thwart that. Finally, we're going to talk about a much more technical kind of area, but in a lot of ways representative of many of our data center environments today, which is virtualization. So we're going to get into really the consolidated infrastructure and what some of the threats are to our virtual infrastructure. So people have been deploying virtualization for years, but you'll find there's a lot that changes in the realm of both technical and operational, kind of modalities, as well as really some interesting legal aspects or compliance aspects to things, and so we'll touch on that too. So virtualization, definitely a big area, lots of things to cover in that one. And we're going to also have a focus topic talking about active defense. So this is a really interesting area that's kind of had a roller coaster ride. It's gone up and down. People have talked about this for years, and it's kind of gone back and forth as to what we should do. But many people view active defense as this kind of hacking back concept. That's really not what it is. In fact, what we're more focused on are ways to make attackers' jobs harder, and that's exactly what we're going to delve into in this focus topic. So we're going to be talking about new tools and techniques that you want to at least keep on your radar as we start finding ways to really not be the next victim. So another really exciting area that we're going to be bringing to the forum.
Thanks, Dave. Now, can you take a moment to talk a little bit about some of the InfoSec trends related to your track that you're seeing on a day-to-day basis?
Sure thing. Right? So there are so many different trends that relate to these topics. I mean, certainly in the realm of offensive security, different types of vendor products emerging in the penetration testing space with really robust capabilities. We're seeing more organizations building dedicated internal pen testing teams and really investing in this. A lot of skill sets that are starting to emerge with people in the InfoSec space. So from pen testing, I mean, really that's becoming a much more viable part of security programs all over the place. And so there's a lot to talk about there. When it comes to things like social engineering and awareness, I mean, we've certainly had awareness training in most organizations for quite some time. But I think what we're realizing is that we haven't been very effective with a lot of that training. And so we're exploring a lot of new techniques because a lot of the major data breaches that have occurred in the last 3 years or so have had a social engineering component. So you read about the RSA breach and some of these others where people were enticed to click on a link or they were involved, and the personal factor is really emerging because attackers are having a harder time getting in through the front door. And so if they can take advantage of people, they are, and so we have to come up with some new awareness tactics to really combat this. So really, it's super timely. I mean, this is what's happening to us right now, and we've got to work together to kind of overcome this. Finally, I mean, in virtualization, that's what everybody's doing, whether it's virtualization or cloud or both. Certainly, we've got to have a way to just realize that this is happening whether security teams are involved or like it or not. And in fact, many IANS clients right now are upwards of 50, 60, 70% virtualized, which means the data center doesn't look the same. And so a lot of our risk models, a lot of our tools, a lot of the way we have security processes in place right now aren't functioning quite the same. And so we need to adapt, and that's really what that's all about. In our IFT session, and I mean really, we've seen some new toolkits come out in the last year that change the landscape of active defense, some of which are commercial, some aren't. But this is a dialogue that's going on in both legal and security communities worldwide. So Europe recently just had a big kind of discussion around, hey, can we do things aggressively to stop attacks and to prevent attacks? Meaning, you know, hey, maybe we're not hacking back, but we're certainly not just sitting there idle and responding either. And that's made its way everywhere. So in the Asia-Pacific region, in the U.S., here, we get a lot of discussion here, but I think we're coming to see that we're going to have to start taking some of those measures. And the question is what's appropriate, what can we do versus what can't we? So this is all very timely stuff that's happening.
Thank you. Now the next question is around expectations. In your opinion, what can delegates expect to see and hear when they attend an IANS forum?
Well, I mean, they're packed with information, certainly. I mean, the great thing is you can mix and match sessions with myself and any of the other forum faculty. So we all have lots of fascinating things to share and really get into, and that's great. It just gives people variety. They don't feel like they're stuck in one thing. If they want to hear something really awesome about a particular mobile security topic, they can go listen to Aaron Turner. If they want to hear about incident response techniques, they can go listen to Marcus Random. If they want to hear about virtualization or pen testing topics, they can come listen to me. And so I really like that flexibility. That's one thing that people can expect, and I think it makes attendees feel like they've got just a broad number of categories of things they can choose from. But I think the big takeaways, regardless of which session, tend to be twofold. One, you really get to hear from people like me and others. The faculty, we're just out doing this all the time, and the difference that we bring to the table, aside from subject matter expertise, is that we are in so many different environments. Most of us are consultants, or we work with a lot of different organizations, and so we can bring some perspective into the room as far as what's trending, what others are doing, what we've seen work and seen haven't worked. But really the other big part of this is that the attendees themselves bring that, right? So the other delegates have things to share, and based on the format of these sessions that we have, people feel like they can open up a bit more, and so there's just so much more dynamic interaction that people walk away with not only expert advice, but advice from their peers, which in many cases is just as valuable. So you get a lot of different perspectives at one time, and so it's a lot of bang for the buck, and I think that's what attendees are really coming to experience over the years.
And what do you think is the best part of IANS forums for the delegates?
Oh, definitely the lunch. It's definitely the lunch. I love those lunches. They're very tasty. I'm just kidding, right? So in all seriousness, the thing that I think is the best part for the attendees, I love it when you can see when people kind of have the light come on and they get that one great idea out of a session that they can immediately take back and start putting to practice. And so that's my favorite part, is just the dialogue, talking to people, getting their feedback, and then having somebody across the room say, well, hey, we tried this, and we did this and that and this and that, and it worked in this way. Be careful about this, but this might be a really good avenue to try. And people go, wow, I never even thought of that. And so that's invaluable. I mean, in addition to that, you certainly get exposed to some of the new solution providers and really interesting technologies that are coming out. You've got some good presentations and actually some great research coming from some of those solution providers. You've got some great keynotes that are going on at every one of the forums. I mean, it's a packed 2 days, so there's a whole lot of things to take away.
Great, thank you. And delegates who want to attend can also have lunch with Dave at the forums, as well as attend his sessions. Anyone who has questions, please feel free to reach out to us in regards to the threat management track or IANS forums in general at info@iansresearch.com. Thanks very much, Dave.